Hello and welcome to the SC Playbook NFL podcast, proudly presented by our partners Sash Legal. I'm Jakob Funk and I'm joined by Josh Clutterbuck and Eden Richards as I am each and every week. This week we'll be bringing you everything that you need to know ahead of week 9 of the NFL. But before we get into that, boys, week 8 in the books, a low-scoring week for a lot of people. I know I did pretty poorly in terms of score, at least so I thought, but I don't know, how we go this week. We'll start with you, Clutzy.
Mate, bit of a tough week. Obviously, a lot of buys. I didn't have JSN and Puka like a lot of people. Had Scats injury. Had Bijan go absolutely terrible, who was my captain on 8 points. If I captained Drake May, I wanted to go the risk. I thought it was a great matchup between the Falcons and the Dolphins, but the Falcons just shit the bed, for lack of a better term. And I would have got a lot better. I scored 445. Which saw me drop 9 positions in the rankings. Now, when I saw that, I'm currently ranked 1,369th, which I thought, if I'm only dropping 9 positions, there must have been a lot of other people have a rough week. It was a very, very rough week for buys and whatnot. So I did have a couple of good scores, though. James Cook scored 67 for me. And that's actually pretty much it. Allen got 46, May 54. New England Patriots D has been probably the pickup of the year for me in terms of just like getting points where you didn't really expect to get them. So look, not the best week, not the worst week, but pretty happy to still be sitting around just outside that 1,000 mark at the moment.
Stop complaining, Josh. I had an absolute stinker, 398, get around me.
Breaking new ground.
By whatever we're calling it, by apocalypse is the word.
Yeah, I just by Mageddon.
Yeah, I felt it. I had Krosky Merritt score 5. I had Jordan Mason score 1. I had Golden score 3. And then I had a lot of players as well who didn't play. And then Bijan with a stinker didn't help either. Captaining Josh Allen wasn't the worst decision, but again, Drake May just outscored him, so I would have preferred to have captained May. Positives, I brought in Gadsden at tight end, and yeah, he looks a really good option. He's going to make me money, and he scored 32, so I was really happy with that. That's probably pretty much where the positives end.
It was pretty rough week. Hey, tell you what, I was pretty stoked. There was one person I forgot to mention. Jake Ferguson, who's been one of the best tight ends this year, put up a donut, which means a DMP, which was really good for me because I got Harold Fannin 30 on the bench.
Oh, that's good.
So I was that pretty much like saved my week.
Jeez, the greatest zero of all time.
Yeah, I was very, very stoked. Like, if he got a reception, it would have absolutely cooked me. So
yeah, only one target.
Yeah, pretty happy with that. So how'd you go, Funky?
Somehow I've done the best of the lot. So 450 for me this week. So I expected to see red arrows and be dropping somehow even worse than the mid 5,000s where I was. But up about 700 places to the 4,800s. So
nice.
We're making slow progress in the world. But yeah, 450, not the best. Bringing in Bijan this week for Barkley. Like, as soon as I see Barkley just like breaking off this huge run, like right at the start of the game, I was like,
it's a tough one because like you're annoyed.
Expletives.
You're pretty annoyed, obviously, but you can't have predicted that. I think the Falcons are the most disappointing team this week by far.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Obviously, like Bengals lost to the Jets, which was pretty crap, but you don't expect.
At least they scored like 38 points or whatever it was.
Yeah. What these guys get 7?
Yeah, something like
ridiculous.
That. The funniest thing was like how the coaches always do like those like hype up speeches like after the game when they win, they like come into the change rooms, whatever.
Yeah.
And Aaron Glenn, the Jets coach, comes in and goes like, the first people I want to shout out is the defense. They made that stop, and it's like you allowed 38 points. Yeah. How are they the first people shouting out? Not Breece Hall, who like absolutely went off for you, but Bijan Robinson only 8 points this week, sucked. Quinshon Judkins 6 points, sucked. That hurt. And the biggest thing was Drake London was a laid out, and I did not do the 250 wake up to get him out. So,
mate, that would have hurt a lot of people this week. I feel like, he probably still has a fairly high ownership rate. That one came out of nowhere.
How bad is it waking up?
Just, like nowhere. Like there was no real indication that he wasn't going to play, and then all of a sudden,
when you wake up and you check your score and you just see the 0 and you go, "What's happened here?"
Yeah.
And then you type it. For me, I type their name into Twitter, and the top things always the NFL, like Drake London, like late out, and you go.
Sick.
Yeah, not good. Actually, I do need to give one other shout out to. I brought in someone last week who I thought could be a bit of point of difference in Keishon Booty.
Yeah, it was a great call from you.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? He put up a 23, which isn't gonna.
Still.
Yeah, but it's still good. Like he's still making cash for me. I was pretty stoked with that. So we'll see how we go.
Yeah, we'd certainly take an extra like 23 points every week. Also, Tyler Loop, the gift that keeps on giving the Baltimore kicker. Glad I held on to him in the end because 26 for me this week.
Bang.
Was good, and Fannin 30 was great too, as well. So before we get into the rest of the show, make sure that you subscribed to the podcast on YouTube and Apple, Spotify, wherever you're listening or watching, because we'll have this show coming out each and every week throughout the season on socials, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Make sure you're giving us a like at SC Playbook NFL. We'll have weekly articles up on the website as well from these boys, as well as another team of contributors, and also the subscription package. You'll get access to all that premium content, including extra articles, our WhatsApp community, extra league prize money if you're in our unlimited league, and more for less than $2 a week. So you can sign up via the menu on our website. So getting into week 9, so not as bad with the buys this week. We've got Cleveland, Jets, Philly, and Tampa.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest ones, we'll get to the outs in a minute, but I think the biggest ones are guys probably like Egbuka and those sorts of guys from Tampa, I think.
This is going to be the sort of week where you're going to decide, is Egbuka in your team for the rest of the year? Because I don't really see the point of trading him out and bringing him back in now.
For sure.
Particularly with such a high ownership percentage.
I think there's a few guys like that actually for this week.
And like he lost 2.2 mil this week, which is a lot, and he's got a break even of 39, so he's still in 54% of teams. It's like, for that money, do you still want him in there? Like he's been so good, but if you can use him to upgrade to some of those premium players.
As well, like a hamstring injury, he's probably not going to be, he's not the same player, I reckon, before the injury. So personally, like I got rid of him, and I think that you'd be silly to keep him. It's hard when they've suffered something in that, like a bad injury in the rookie season. I know it was only a couple of weeks or whatever, but that's still like his hamstring's a big deal.
Yeah. Particularly at such a young age. Like we know from having a look at other sports, like once you do your hamstring once, it's always lingering.
Yeah, the risk of re-injury.
So they probably want to be really, really careful with that.
Yeah, so coming up a little bit later in the show as well, we'll talk about our ins, including one guy who I think that we've hardly mentioned on this podcast, maybe only a handful of times. I won't tell you who it is, but he's the wide receiver 7, and he's so far done better in terms of even averaging like by week, better than Justin Jefferson, Drake London, DK Metcalf, and even Malik Neighbors before he got injured as well. So maybe have a bit of a think about who that could be coming up. But before we get into that, the outs this week, the big one, tough for Cam Scatterboo. He's out for the season. That was tough to see.
Yeah, that was a tough watch. Obviously, Jackson Dart was quite upset seeing Big Scat go down injured. But we were talking about this, and you see it everywhere online, like people saying that Scatterboo is going to have the best 3-year career ever, and then just be done with injuries. Like, it's the sort of thing. He's gone for the rest of the season. Is he going to come back the same player next year? Who knows? But what is important is that he's taking no part in the rest of this season. He's $16.45 million. Yeah. He's someone that I think you can use to upgrade to. He's still $7 to $10 million shy of those big 3, particularly the big 2, CMC and Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
But he is someone that you can use to upgrade there if you're smart about your team, I believe.
Yeah, 100%. So moving on, we've already spoken about Egbuka, but this is definitely the week where you want to decide. I mean, he lost $2 million last week, but I think you want to decide now if you want to keep him or not. The Bucks have definitely lost a bit of momentum.
Yep.
I think the shine's gone a little bit off the team, but I think going forward, I think that he's still a hold personally. What do you guys reckon?
For Egbuka?
Yeah.
Look, I think I just think with 54% ownership and like he's got a high break even, he's at that 11 mil mark. He's already made you 7.3. Hitting at 39 when they come back, their opponent is going to be the New England Patriots, who have actually been very, very good defensive wise.
Yeah, they got a tough run.
Mate, if he gets Carlton Davis or Christian Gonzalez on him, or even Marcus Jones, like they're all playing the house down.
Yeah, so his last 3 scores, obviously one was injury affected, 6, 15, 10. I think he's a trade, and you can make a pretty straight trade for someone who we'll touch on, who we were just talking about, around the same price point, who I think is a much better option.
Yeah, exactly. I think also with Mike Evans out, even though Godwin's coming back, Godwin's been so inconsistent with injury this year. But I think with Mike Evans gone from the Tampa offense, it's not good for Egbuka.
No, he's getting the matchups, and then Baker's throwing it to Tez Johnson.
Yeah.
So that's a real difference at the moment as well.
Yeah, he's sort of coming out of nowhere a little bit. Has Tez too.
So, yeah, I think if you're an Egbuka owner, this is probably the week to get rid of him. And look, he'll probably go and have a couple of big scores towards the end of the year, but I think considering like we're getting to the pointy end, we're now at the halfway part, it's like, what do you want your team to look like for the rest of the year? Are there points of difference that you could make to sort of set your team apart from everyone else? And I think if you can there is a guy, as we've alluded to, there is a guy you could probably swap to.
Find out more.
Yeah, find out more. Coming up in however long we waffle. So, yeah, I think Egbuka's a sell.
Getting on to another guy that I think is definitely a sell. We spoke about him last week, but Ashton Genty had a buy last week, so I didn't change in price, but he's got a break even of 36. I think that's his 13.45 million. I think that's about as good as he's going to get out of him. Yeah,
exactly. He hasn't lost money, obviously, this week, but coming off that buy. But Jacksonville, he might make money. Who knows? But I just think we spoke about it briefly last week. They have a really, really, really tough end to the year. Jacksonville's D's been fairly good. You've got Denver twice. You've got Cleveland in there. You've got the Chargers. You've got Philly, Houston, Kansas City as well. Like, there's just so many. He's pretty much got a matchup against Dallas that's favourable, and like that's going to be a shootout. So I just don't think it's worthwhile having him, and you can probably use him to upgrade as well.
Jacksonville are pretty good against the rush as well. So
yeah.
And if like they've showed that if they get stifled on offense, they run out of options really quickly, and they just struggle to move the ball at all.
Yeah,
I mean his last performance, and it wasn't just him, the whole team was so bad. So they've got a really, 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 really low floor. Which is concerning.
Yeah, number 4 on this list is Darren Waller. He's on IR. So
see ya.
They think they will come back at some point this year.
Get him out of here.
But I'd get rid of him.
Get him out of here.
I think George Pickens has also peaked in price as well. So he's number 5. In terms of my trade out player this week, I think that he's most likely peaked in price. His role just isn't as great with CD in there, which we probably knew was going to happen eventually. But yeah, break even of 57 this week. Unless CD was to go down again, which you hope doesn't happen. I don't see a use for keeping
George Pickens. George Pickens is wide receiver 2. We did say this a while back. Like, I know I went with Quentin Johnson, who was a terrible option, but in hindsight, but I still probably would have made that same decision based on if Quentin Johnson was good, that would have been awesome. But Pickens was always going to be, and I said it at the time, he was someone that you'd trade out as soon as CD was available.
Like, he's made $7 million this year, so for me, he's done his job.
I think he's done his job, exactly. If you were bringing him in to make cash, he's done his job indeed. But, like, he's still scoring 20s, but he's not getting those 50 bombs that he was getting when CD was around. And, I just think 18.19 mil, I think there's actually someone around that price point. I don't know if he's most traded in. Yeah. There's a guy we'll talk about when the trade ends, but you could do a direct swap, save 2 mil, and get a lot better production from him.
Very good. Number 6 on this list is Jackson Dart. I think that it's like he's still got a negative break even.
Don't trade him.
Yeah, like this week he was 14-24 for 193 and a touchdown, but he still had 6 rushes and another rushing touchdown, which he's had, I think, might have had 5 of those or something like that this year already. I said this weeks ago, but his willingness, not just how good he is at rushing, but his willingness to run makes him a good option, and I'm going to hold on to him probably for another little while. Yeah, I might hold on to him for the rest of the season, honestly.
Yeah, mate, I completely agree. I think San Fran are playing without a lot of their good players as well.
Yeah.
Like they've lost a lot on defense. They have had some good games against, I believe, Atlanta. They had a decent game against them. They did get beaten by Houston, but yeah, I think when you got that negative break even still, there's no point in getting rid of him. He's going to do well against them. And look, I'm going to have a quarterback out in Drake May in week 14, so I'm keeping Jackson Dart until at least week 14. He's going to keep making that cash. I don't see any point in getting rid of the big dog.
He's going to make another $2 million this week. Like, there's going to be once he stops making money, straight swap for a gun.
I feel like people are freaking out as well that Scatterboo's out. Scatterboo wasn't the biggest reason why they were going so well. Jackson Dart extends plays. He's played really well. Like Tyrone Tracy is a serviceable running back. Yeah. We don't know what Tyrone Tracy's like with Jackson Dart. They haven't had a full game together yet. So, he's still going to keep doing the same things. He's got some good matchups coming up as well. Like he's got San Fran this week and Chicago, Green Bay and Detroit and New England. That's a bit of a tough stretch, but finishing the year with Washington, Minnesota, Vegas and Dallas isn't too bad. So, yeah, I think he's going to be quite serviceable. Oh, I've just realised something as well. He's gone the week 14 bye, the same as Drake May, so he won't be in.
Dramas.
Oh, no.
Sound the alarm.
Mate, no, this is going to be great. I actually have a little bit of a sneaky idea on what to do here then. I'm just going to keep letting him make cash and he's going to get me someone good, hopefully.
Yeah. Alrighty, so...
Jeez, could have cooked that, eh?
Good thing you realise now. Imagine getting to week 14 and you just got like the double blue dots there. You're like, oh, no.
Maybe so much head noise.
Oh, no, I've cooked this. Number 7 on this list, as the rain starts to come down, is Matthew Golden. He's just been he's a receiver from the Packers. I think almost all of us had him at the start of the year, but he's just been, I think, one of the real disappointments of Supercoach this year. He's just never really gotten going. He's showed flashes, but never really quite put it together, has he?
Yeah, I think for me, I just can't be bothered getting rid of him. He's going to be a stark reminder of don't always trust the rookies.
We all started with him, didn't we?
We all started with him, yeah.
It's like, no, keep the scar there. I want to see it.
Every report coming out of training camp was how good he was. Christian Watson, who's one of Jordan Love's favourite receivers, has just come off IR as well.
Yeah, I saw that.
So he played today. So now there's even more competition, and it's just like, man, Jordan Love is the sort of guy, he's got that affinity with Tucker Kraft. And he's also got it with Romeo Dubes, the man with the best helmet in the football. But
Megamind.
Megamind. But mate, like, I just don't see him building that affinity with Golden now. I feel like Golden's going to be a sneaky good one next year.
Yeah.
After another off season, but at the moment, there's no point.
Yeah, Shabian is as a classic post-site sleeper there, but I think it was the we all drank the Kool-Aid in pre-season and fool's gold or fool's golden if it's Matthew Golden. There's a few other guys I'll just quickly touch on here that are on bye. Quinton Judkins, as I mentioned a bit earlier, he was pretty average this week, but I think it's a tough one. I think I've got bigger issues with my team, so I think I'm going to hold Judkins this week. I don't know. Are either of you guys Judkins owners?
I don't have Judkins.
No, I never got Judkins because he's on Cleveland's team.
Yeah.
And with old mate Samuel or Gabriel, is it?
Yeah, Dylan Gabriel.
Dylan Gabriel. Mate, he's so inconsistent.
He's so bad.
How Cleveland haven't just given the reins over to Shedeur just to see what he's got, because Gabriel's obviously not the quarterback of the future. They're not going anywhere. They're wasting Myles Garrett. They got this good defense they're wasting as well. Let's at least see if we've got something with Shedeur, and if we don't, they can get a high pick. If they get a better team, Quinton Judkins is going to be a great pickup.
Yeah.
Because they're going to have a better passing offense. Everything's going to work better for them. But as it stands, like, he's already had 2 single-digit scores this year.
Rocks and diamonds.
As soon as he plays against a good team, like, he did well against Detroit and Green Bay, but like, he got single digits against Pittsburgh, single digits against New England. He's got a couple of tough games coming up. The Jets will be a good game. Baltimore, though, they're going to put everything together. Vegas has been, like, okay with rush defense. I just think there's better options out there. He's already made you 7.8, and he's also got
He's only got a break even of 8 though. For me, I think he's only got a break even of 8. The Jets defense were just saying allowed an absolute ton of points this week. Then got Vegas in 3 after the bye.
Yeah.
They go Jets, Ravens, Vegas, San Fran, Tennessee, Chicago.
He might. Okay, I didn't realize the break even. So. Look, if you are looking at saving trades, he could be good just to stash on your bench if you still got him. And
I'm not playing him.
Yeah, and then just keep having a look at that break even. Yeah, if he's making you cash, I think what people's goals at the moment should be, how do I make cash to get Jonathan Taylor, Christian McCaffrey, Bijan Robinson, and probably James Cook?
Yeah, on that, I'm literally trying to figure out how I can use my boost to get Jonathan Taylor this week. And whether that's nothing a kicker.
Imagine not being a Jonathan Taylor.
I think, we'll get to the trade-ins, but Jesus, he's just...
Yeah.
He's insane.
He's so good. He's
ridiculous, man. I'm absolutely off myself for not getting him weeks ago.
Yeah.
There was a chance I could have got it. Nah, there's a chance I could have got him when he was about 24 mil.
I think if I nuff a kicker, I can get him in this week, and I think I might have
to. Another guy that's on bye this week is Jalen Hurts, who's quietly been quite good and consistent this year. He's obviously a long time fantasy and Supercoach gun, but he's been the QB4 so far this year in Supercoach.
Yeah.
Break even of only 34. He's on bye this week, but after the bye, they've got Green Bay, then Detroit. But then after that, they don't have the toughest run. They've got the Cowboys, Chicago, the Chargers, Vegas after that. So I don't know if I was a Jalen Hurts owner, which I'm not. Depending on if you've got someone like Dart and someone else that you can chuck in there, if you've got Allen and Dart or something,
it's a waste of a trade.
I'm thinking that you probably just because it's a pretty good pod too. What's his ownership like?
He's 10%, so he's not as good as a pod as Drake May, but
no one ever will be.
But
maybe with how much you blokes talk about it, maybe May won't be a pod anymore.
Mate, I've been trying to tell everyone. But yeah, if you've got Jalen and you've got someone else you can sub into QB, hold him. It'd be silly to
100%.
trade him.
Agree. And last but certainly not least, a bloke that you mentioned just a couple of minutes ago, Clutzy, Quentin Johnston, 0 targets this week. So he got the DMP, so at least he didn't lose cash.
Yeah, crazy. Hey, I think he had a great start to the year, and then he's just been putting up donuts. Herbert's been going back to Lad McConkey. Yeah. So Lad had a really bad start. Now Lad's just doing well. I think you got the emergence of Gadsden as well, who... Bit of a plug. Obviously, we said at the start we do articles. Eden, in his last word, had Gadsden as a great point of difference pickup in his article this week. So definitely worthwhile subscribing so you can have a look at that sort of stuff, because he's a bloke that's been taking targets away from Johnson and being more productive as well. Yeah. So yeah, Johnson just hasn't been a factor in this offense, but there's every chance in the world that he starts getting targeted again. But
Tennessee this week.
For that price point, you can probably get rid of him and move over to some other guys who have a lot more upside.
Yeah, it just depends how much of a risk you want to take, but he's losing money. So and there's some in the trade-ins that you could almost straight swap him for.
Yeah, if he's maybe a slight luxury trade for some people, but if you've got the trades to burn, I think he's a pretty good candidate to get rid of there. All right, boys, before we get into the trade-ins and captaincy calls and our trade options for the week, we've got to give a huge shout-out to our sponsor, Sasha Legal.
Yeah, that's right, Funky. Think of them like your set and forget captain in the courtroom. There's no DMPs, no dud picks, just straight wins, baby.
Exactly. When it comes to disputes and litigation, Sasha Legal is like locking in a premium QB1 as captain. No wasted trades. They don't loophole arguments. They just rack up points week after week.
That's right. Let's be real. Your premium QB1 is definitely Drake May. And in Supercoach, we all make rookie mistakes at some point. That's not bringing in Drake May. But in law, you don't want that. Sasha Legal is the premium pick, the pod that always delivers.
Your case is their grand final. Every move counts, and Sasha Legal plays the full 80 or the full 4 quarters if you're thinking NFL.
So if you need that serious legal muscle off the field, lock them in. Sasha Legal, your captain's choice for litigation. They've got offices in Sydney and Brisbane, but it doesn't matter where you're based. Reach out and they can look after you. To do so, just flick them a message on Instagram at sasha.legal. Call them on 0731852404 or email info@sashalegal.com.au.
All right, on to the ends this week. The number one most traded in guy. He's so far based off averages. He's the number one wide receiver for averages through his 2 weeks in, but it's moving week for Rashee Rice. So what are you guys thinking for old Rashee?
I said this last week that he will be, based off averages from the point that he came back, a top 5, possibly top 3 receiver by the end of the year. I think he's someone that's a must-have almost. When you look at, who we say, George Pickens at 18 mil, you are crazy not to go to Rashee Rice if you're a George Pickens owner, in my opinion.
Touchdowns inflating his scores, though.
But he's always getting touchdowns. Yeah. Like they're using him in he had a touchdown call back today for a rushing touchdown. I just think he is so pivotal to that offense, and he always seems to come up with the big plays when they're needed. So, look, he started off with 39 and 41, and he hasn't even been used on every down yet. So I'm a big Rashee fan. He certainly helped me in draft, finally. But yeah, I'm a big fan of him. Like, when I have a look at my team that I got at the moment, is there a way I can get Rashee in? I'm probably happy with who my receivers are. But if there's an opportunity for me to go, say, like a Tet McMillan, or even Booty's scoring at an astronomical rate at the moment. Booty's got a break even of 11 and he's made 4.4 and he's sitting at 12 mil. Like, if Rashee's sitting and Booty has like a massive game this week and Rashee's sitting around that price, that's something I'm looking at next week for sure.
Would you prioritise Rashee Rice or the guys number 4 on this list, Jackson Smith-Njigba?
I think you still need Smith-Njigba in your team.
Yeah, I think Smith-Njigba's got the runs on the board this season.
But Smith-Njigba, like most people have him already, 31% ownership, which I think should be a lot higher. But like the Chiefs are going to do Chief things. Rashee Rice is only owned by 8% of people at the moment, and he's going to be putting up huge production. Like he's just going to keep getting better and better.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I mean, I can't argue with Joshua's.
I do agree with the touchdown thing is inflating him a bit, but the thing is, like, they're looking for him in touchdown situations.
I'm just like 3 touchdowns in 2 games. Like, can he keep that up? I mean, and by what you're saying, he can. I personally, like, it'd be a massive luxury to try and get him in. There's another guy on this list who I'm bringing in who's a bit cheaper. But yeah, I don't think you'd regret bringing Rice in though.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, how about we'll get to that guy now. So the guy that I was saying earlier, it's Michael Pittman.
The goal.
Like he has been completely overshadowed this year by the emergence of Daniel Jones, and everyone's put into basically the narrative of how amazing Jonathan Taylor's been, which cannot be understated. Like, he's been phenomenal. The classic, what happens every year is like, oh, can a running back be MVP? Yeah, now it's Jonathan Taylor's turn for that. And also, of course, Tyler Warren as well at tight end. But Michael Pittman's been like really good all year. It is the wide receiver 7 for total points, wide receiver 15 by average, and he's been better than Jefferson, London, Metcalf, Neighbours, and he's got a -5 break even. Like, when was the last time we even mentioned him on this podcast?
Yeah, I think I mentioned him in like week 2, and I mentioned that he was just quietly going about his thing, like going pretty well just under the radar, and I think that was the last time I really thought about him. And I wish I'd kind of taken my own advice and just got him in my team, because he's putting together a huge season. He's already has his biggest season in terms of touchdowns, and we're only week 8, so that number's going to grow. So he's scoring touchdowns, he's getting targets. I think there's another 9 targets on the weekend for 8 catches. He's a freak. Like, if anyone saw that catch that he took on the weekend,
unbelievable.
It was so
he's
sick.
Very talented. So, and he's cheap. So, I'll be bringing him in this week.
Really good mid-range.
I think when you say like you got like your Drake Londons and stuff around,
he's been better than Drake London this year.
Drake London's $4 million dearer than him at the moment on Supercoach. So, look, like, you have a look. It might look initially like he's not that great, where he's got like his last 3-week average is 26.3. That's pretty decent if you're playing him as like your wide receiver 5 or 6. Like, if I was to bring him in, right, and I've got a team of Chase, Nakua, Smith-Njigba, St. Brown, Booty, and Pittman, like, I'd be pretty happy with that. Or get rid of Booty and keep Pittman, and keep Tet McMillan. Like, that's a good receiving core.
Yeah, I think
he's got a lot of upside.
His big things is consistency.
Yeah.
I think that's the massive thing going for him.
Yeah.
Like, he might not hit the peaks of some other receivers, but each week he's going to get targeted and he's going to get catches.
Yeah, that's it. 50% of his games so far this season, he scored over 30 points, which is really good. And then he's also had 2 in the 20 range. He's only had 1 single digit and then 112, which was against Denver in week 2, which you can be forgiven for that. But yeah, he's done well, and I think he's also got a couple of his division boys still to come up against. Like, he's got Jacksonville twice, Houston twice. So yeah, I'm excited to see what happens with him. I think it's exciting times.
Yeah, he's only 3.4% owned, so a really good. I think that he's probably like one of the better pods that we've sort of seen in the wide receiver position. Certainly for I think the last few weeks to get in. I think instead, though, a position where a few guys might be heading will be instead going even further down the price point. Because, Michael Pittman's still $12.5 million, just about. Troy Franklin, $8.27 million. He was really good this week, had a huge week. I think he might have even been the wide receiver 1 in Supercoach this week.
Yep.
I think that he's a good option because he still gets targeted a lot. So like his last 5 weeks in targets are 8, 5, 4, 10, and 8. So his consistency, consistently targeted by Bo Nix. It's just whether he can actually hold them in. And this week he managed to do that. I think that he's certainly a good option in terms of making a bit of cash. He's got a negative 24 break even, scored 47 this week. I think they will certainly go up a bunch, and then whether he's a seller, eventually to upgrade to someone better. I think that he's just a good cash generator.
See, I'm going to be the bad man here. I don't think he is a good option based on this time of year with how many trades most people have left. Yes, he's been getting a lot of I don't even think he has been getting heaps of targets.
It's been a good amount.
The last 2 weeks, he's had 18 targets. So
which is good, but it's the same thing. Like, is he going to keep that up? Like, the last time we spoke about him was for the week 3 pod, and then after that, he put up scores of 3, 15, 14, 2, and 22.
That's respectable.
Now, Denver have scored, I think it's 77 points in the last 5 quarters of football. They're not going to keep that up.
My only reservation is the Sean Payton roulette.
Yeah.
And I feel like with Denver, 1 week someone gets all the targets and the next week someone else gets all the targets.
The other thing, man, is he put up a 47 bomb against Dallas, who has one of the worst defenses. He also put up 22 points in that Giants game. Bulk of that came in that fourth quarter. Like, you're coming up against, you got Houston, which will be a tough game.
They've got Vegas twice, though.
Yeah, Vegas twice is nice, correct. But I just think he's not the number 1 option there. He's not Cortland Sutton. There's other people that are better options. If you're looking for a price rise, yes, but I feel like a lot of people are going to be in the same situation of single-digit trades. And are you willing to risk it on a guy who isn't that much of a consistent scorer? Outside of 47 and 39, he's done nothing.
Are you going Franklin over Pittman?
Well, we'll get into my actual trades later.
Would you go right now Franklin over Pittman?
I mean, there's a $4 million difference, so I get that.
If I had the money to go Pittman instead, I would definitely go Pittman. But unfortunately, I do not have the money to go to Pittman. So I'm going to Franklin instead because I think that
I got burnt by Franklin earlier in the year.
Yeah.
So
a lot of people did get burnt by him, I think. But this is the problem. As you said, it's the Sean Payton roulette, DOS. And also
oh, you know what I did know? I wrote about him as a pod earlier in the year, and then he scored 2 the next week, and I felt like an idiot. So that's what happened.
I think as you said, man, he's it's part of the Broncos roulette offense. Cortland Sutton's also the guy, so they're going to keep going to him. And I don't think that Bo Nix is going to keep up this sort of production.
I'm confused by Denver.
Yeah.
Are they good?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah? I know you were going to say that. They're good?
Yeah, they're good.
But
they could score points very quickly.
I feel like you've got a bit of supporter bias.
That's rich from us.
I was going to say.
Drake May's actually performed.
Classy, that is so rich. Look
but Drake May has performed.
He says one good thing about a Denver player, and you're just like, nah, bye.
No, he sucks.
If you have a look at these statistics, if you have a look at these stats, you can't argue that he's not that great.
I just wish I had more trades for money making at this stage of the season. I definitely don't. I've been too many trades. So anyway, who else are we trading in, boys? That was so good.
We're talking about making money. the number 2 option, we spoke about this guy last week and we sort of gave the gist on him, but JJ McCarthy, he's the number 2 most traded in player this week.
Yep.
Bottom dollar still.
Who are you trading out for him though? Like most people have Dart and then most people have 2 guns.
Yeah, so I reckon it must be like people that are going, Hurts down or something like that.
I feel like the logic here is people are going to him for maybe 1 week, and they've got like maybe they're like, you've got your Hurts and you're getting rid of him, and you might have kept your Dart. You're making 17 mil or something like that, and people are trading out maybe like a running back for a JT.
Don't waste your Dart.
But I would not be wasting Dart because he's still going to keep making money and will help you make that trade later. I also don't think JJ's ready to come back yet this week. They're talking about...
What do they do? Because Wentz is cooked.
Dude, there's another guy...
the guy that's most traded in for so far is Cam Scatterbo. So this must be people that have a running back in their flex. And then Darren Waller... Man, how are people trading him from Darren Waller?
What they did to Wentz on the last week was he was no good, and they just kept him out there, and he kept getting smashed.
Yeah, and he's just completely cooked his shoulder. So the guy that they're looking at bringing in is a fella called Max Brosma.
Yeah,
he's a rookie.
I can't say I'm too familiar with his work.
No, I don't think anyone is. He went in at the end of the game.
Oh yeah, Maxi, yep.
3 completions on 4 attempts for 13 yards with the longest of 5. So that should have a lot of people barking at their screens to get him.
There's no rush to bring McCarthy in.
Yeah, I don't. You know what? Like, I'll probably honestly get him in maybe around that week 14 mark to free up cash when Dart and May are gone. That's the only thing. But I don't think there's any point at bringing him in at the moment, unless you're happy and you can change that over to unless you can change that to a really good running back.
See, I think that I could consider getting him in if I was... So I'm a Jaden Daniels owner, and like if you're one of the idiots that jumped on board with Jaden Daniels instead of going to Pat Mahomes or
Drake May,
or I was going to say the great and powerful Drake May, potentially you can think, oh, maybe I'll go down to McCarthy and that will be a way to finance getting in someone like Jonathan Taylor or getting in one of these other gun gun receivers or gun running backs that we've spoken about and sort of we'll speak about here. I understand that logic. Otherwise, not too much. Like if you're someone that's got, let's say you got like Allen, Dart, and Daniels, like I do. I would understand if someone went Daniels down to McCarthy and were happy enough to stick with Dart and Allen for the time being.
100%.
And then would eventually upgrade Dart to Lamar or Pat Mahomes or, God, if you want to go Drake May for whatever reason.
I think the only reason why you bring in JJ is to upgrade another position.
Yeah. Agree there. The number 5 most traded in player this week is James Cook. I think he's certainly a guy that's second tier. We'll loop him in actually with the guy that's number 6 most traded in, Jahmyr Gibbs. They're $2.5 million in difference between them. Who would you guys prioritize getting in? I know that you were talking about getting Gibbs out a couple of weeks ago, Clutzy. Are you still thinking about that?
I'll have a look at my trade situation.
I love Gibbs so much, and I think that they're going to absolutely run Minnesota into the ground this week.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that. My only thing is, as I said, like, I just want to try and get those big 3. Like, I want Jonathan Taylor. That's my big thing.
I wouldn't be prioritizing any of them. I think if you're trading in a running back this week, it needs to be one of the big 3 if you don't have them, if that makes sense. Like, if you're going to be spending the money, you need to find a way to get that little bit of extra money to bring in like a CMC or something like that.
I think the problem is, though, like if you look at someone like Jonathan Taylor, he's now $27 million.
It's actually insane.
Like,
with a break even of 14.
Like, is he going to reach 30 million? Yeah.
I don't know. James Cook before last week scores of 9 and 17, but then he had a really good run. So I don't know. He's going to have up and down weeks.
So this is the thing. I've been listening to a lot of stuff on James Cook after the performance
because I was high on him earlier in the season.
So what they've said, obviously he had those 9 and the 17, which is really disappointing. Buffalo really went away from their standard sort of game in those games. So Buffalo being a very cold area, lots of snow and whatnot, they're going to have to rush the ball in those late home games.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of hype around the Bills.
So they've got a lot of them at the end of the season.
Yeah, so
they're always at home.
So they got a lot of home games towards the end of the season. They've got a lot of interesting games, a lot of tough games to come up. But they pretty much said when Buffalo's been most successful, it's when they run the ball.
Yeah.
And they've tried not to run the ball. Now they've seen that doesn't work. So
him and Allen both scored.
Yeah.
Both had big games last week.
So they made a point of giving Cook the ball, and I think they now can see that that's their way forward. I think James Cook's a fantastic buy.
Would you agree though? Like him, Cook and Gibbs both probably high ceiling, low floors. Like
Yeah,
there's
100%.
a big gap between their best and
Gibbs
worst.
is going to have Montgomery take carries away from him. That's always going to happen.
And Allen's going to snake TDs off Cook.
But it sounds crazy. I think Gibbs and Cook have more potential to score 70, 80 bombs, even 90 bombs, as opposed to CMC and Bijan.
I thought you were going to say JT then.
But no.
Jump over the desk.
JT is the clear-cut number one. Like, he's always going to be scoring those massive games.
72 points this week. So ridiculous.
It is pretty crazy. But yeah, I agree with Eden though. If you're not bringing in one of the big three, probably not worth it. But if you got to get rid of Scat and you got to bring someone in, like
I guess at the end of the day, you
Cook's
still
a
have
good
to
option.
fill out your team with someone as well.
Yeah.
Like
you can't have,
you can't just play three players at running back.
Yeah.
Like you sort of got to have those couple extra guys.
Yeah, I've got Gibbs as a set and forget, and I'm like, I'm happy taking, like, if he scores 10, he scores 10 because he could score 70. We got Kraft on this list as well. I think we should talk about Gadsden as well. While we talk about
So would you guys prioritize Kraft or Rondo Gadsden? Because we spoke about Gadsden last week, but just he's really good.
I think they're
Negative
both
31 break even again.
both great options.
Yeah, the Gadsden. I'm glad I brought Gadsden last week. Like his break even, he picked up $3 million last week. He's probably going to pick up $3 million again this week. He might cost the same as Kraft soon, which is crazy to think.
Yeah, and I think having a look at Kraft's scores, tight end is a very hard position to score at.
Yeah.
He's had a 17 and a 16. He had a 42 in week 2. He's had a single-digit score of 8, but he's pretty much all his games have been over 20. He's had 3 games under 20 points, and I think for tight end it's been so hard so far.
Can I
this
give you
year.
a Cook start?
Yeah, go on.
Gadsden is 4th in the league in receiving yards for tight ends.
Holy shit! And he's only had 2 big
He didn't
games.
even play the first 2 weeks.
I know, it's crazy. And target-wise, Kraft's only had 8 more targets than Gadsden.
I think I'd be probably I'd honestly be going Gadsden over Kraft.
What about over Trey McBride, who's a similar price to Kraft?
I think McBride's going to finish as the top tight end.
McBride will be the top.
Supercoach.
McBride will be the top, but I feel like Gadsden's so much cheaper. He's averaging 33 over the last 3 weeks, which is great. He's got a minus 31 break even. He's going to keep making a shit ton of cash.
Herbert looks for him as well. If you watched that game last week, he's looking for him over the middle.
Yeah, because so as I sort of mentioned, like he didn't play the first 2 games of the season, and then his snap rate's really gone up. Like the last 3 weeks, he's played 75+% of snaps. Targets like 8, 9, and he only had 5 this week, but caught all of them for 77 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
He's really, really been injected into this team. I do wonder, they've got a bye in week 12. Other than that, they've got Tennessee, Pittsburgh, Jacksonville, Vegas.
Yeah.
They've got Dallas in week 16.
I think that offense is humming now. They've also got Joe Alt back was massive.
Yeah.
Joe Alt coming back was so big for them.
Their gun tackle.
They've actually looked everyone's looked awesome in that offense so far. So like when Amari and Hampton comes back, he's going to absolutely thrive because Vidal's been doing really good until he loses his spot to Hampton. But yeah, that offensive line is really, really good, which is giving good old Herbert a lot more time in the pocket to actually make his plays and whatnot. So yeah, I think it's I'd personally be going Gadsden.
I'm really mad I didn't get him in last week.
Yeah.
I wish I got him in last week.
These things happen.
Well, if you read my article, you would have got it.
Yeah, I know. I should have been subscribed. No, I am subscribed.
I'm still, personally, for me, I'm probably not going to be touching the tight end position unless I really have to. Even though Ferguson put out that big DMP, he still has been really good this year.
Yeah, he's been great.
He's been one of the more consistent guys. every score bar 2 has been over 20. So I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, very, very good. I guess getting onto the trades then, I'll go through mine first because sort of on this note. So I've got to get rid of Darren Waller. Yep. So I've got Fannin on bye, Waller who's on IR, and then I've got Tyler Warren. So I need to get rid of... I'm not getting rid of Fannin because he's been great. And I probably want to get rid of... I think Fannin actually might have the second most. Or like he's right up there in terms of targets among tight ends. In terms of... So Waller, I either go to Kraft, McBride, Gadsden, one of the gun tight ends, I think. Because I think that what I'm wanting to do is probably either go McBride or Kraft. And then that way I can run... probably McBride and Warren the rest of the season and have Fannin as my backup. And to finance that, I'm going Pickens down to Troy Franklin.
Yep, nice. I like
because otherwise I just don't have the cash to go to Pittman, which I would have loved to, but I just don't have the cash.
What's your receivers at the moment?
So my receivers at the moment, I'll get them up. I've got Nakua, Amon-Ra, Drake London, Jefferson, Egbuka, Adunze, Tet, Troy Franklin.
Yeah, sweet. So, to be honest, like the Franklin, as I said, I'm not the biggest fan of Franklin, but with that, he does have a fair bit of upside there.
Yeah.
But you could even chuck him on the bench and have a Dunze starting for you.
100%, which I'll likely do this week.
Yeah. Not too bad. Hey, if it gets you one of the premier tight ends where a lot of people are going to be struggling in that position, worth it.
I think if I can then basically have my tight ends just set for the rest of the season, not have to worry about it, I'm sort of thinking about which positions am I set for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that basically I've got Taylor, I've got Bijan Robinson, who even though he's sunk it up for me last week, obviously he's a hold for the rest of the season. Taylor, Bijan, I've got Javonte Williams, Kamani Vidal, who I'm glad I brought him in, and then Judkins and Travion Henderson, who sucks. I'm basically hoping that I can find a way to eventually finance either Judkins or Vidal to CMC, and then I'll be set with Taylor, Robinson, CMC, and Javonte Williams. And those are my end running backs. Then I've got that. My end tight ends are done. I'm not touching kicker or defense special teams, and I've just got to get a way to get Daniels to Lamar or I guess Pat Mahomes if I want to go in that direction for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I think this week for me, I'm freeing up cash to bring in Gunn, so I'm actually nuffing my kicker Cam Little, who was 9.5 million, who's taking up cash, and I was just sitting on my bench, so I brought in Ryan Coe.
Oh, the great man.
So I'm using a boost as well, and then I'm going Pickens to Pittman Jr., and I'm going Genty to Jonathan Taylor.
Wow, he's done it. That's nice.
And I'll be captaining Jonathan Taylor, so there's my captain choice as well.
At 27.4 million.
He's going to keep going up, man.
There's not enough superlatives you can really use to say how good Jonathan Taylor's
break
been
even's
this year.
14. Yeah. He could be $30 million after this week.
Yeah, which is crazy.
You're not concerned that it's too out of reach?
No.
Fair enough.
What do you mean too out of reach? He's just got him.
I have to get him in. Mate,
but in terms of what you got to do to get him in.
No, I'm happy with that. And the Colts, watching that Colts O-line, they are just spreading. And JT's just running through it. There's a screenshot last week, and we could have made yardage. He's just getting so much room. I'm doing it. I'm bringing him in. I want someone I can put the C on, and he'll be reliable. Watch him score 10 this week.
See, that's. No, I think that's a great option, man.
The juice is worth the squeeze for what it's worth, according to me. I just wanted to see what you think.
I mean, the thing is, the fact that his break even's still so low, it's just crazy the price that he could hit.
Gonna have to have a look at who's on the buy in week 11. I've got a sort of long-term trade strategy here, which you guys will love because you know that I think about this shit way too much.
Yeah, you message me at midnight on a Thursday night.
It's great though. But this is my set and forget trade this week. So I'm the same thing. I'm freeing up cash so that I'm able to bring in guns.
Yeah.
So what I've done is I've got rid of Roma Dunze. He's done his job for me, which has not been a great job, but he did it anyway. And I've brought in a very cheap receiver who I'm not going to play and is just going to sit on the bench. And if he ever has to come in and play, hopefully he has a decent week. But that's Roman Wilson.
Oh, yes. So household name.
Household name. He's actually not I think in the future years, he'll be pretty good. He's been selected by 29 teams so far, so he's a massive pod.
You're investing early.
Investing very early. He does have a break-even of -10. He had a huge breakout this week for the Steelers. He scored 30 against Green Bay on like 5 receptions or something. So, but the point was to free up cash. Obviously, I brought in Scat last week.
That's tough.
He goes down injured, but he still makes extra cash.
My condolences.
And that extra cash that he made allows me with those 2 trades to bring in CMC.
Love that.
Amazing.
Because CMC lost a little bit of money, which, yep, that sucks, but it is what it is. I think, like...
He had his one down game.
He had his one down game after putting up 70 the week before. He doesn't have a bye till week 14, which is great. Now, what my sort of long-term idea on this is I want Taylor. I know he's going to be about 30 mil next week. So with this, I'm very happy with my receivers as they are. I've got Jamar Chase, Puka Nakua, Jackson Smith and Jigba, and Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yep.
I've also got Booty and McMillan. So I'm happy to have them there. I'm happy with Ferguson and Warren as my tight ends. Drake May and Josh Allen are awesome as my QBs. What I'm thinking is, so my running backs is where I know I need to get Taylor, but I know I want to keep Bijan and McCaffrey. So I've got to toss up, how do I get Taylor when he's almost 30 mil, when I've got Jackson Dart, Javonte Williams, Jamar Gibson, James Cook. So in my mind at the moment, I'm thinking, who's going to have the better end of the year between Gibbs and Cook?
Could you move Dart to your flex and then
Who do you have in your flex?
try and bring
Drake
in...
May.
Yeah, so swap May and Dart, and then you got the Dart in your flex, and you can trade Dart up to a running back.
But I guess then it
Yeah,
means
but then the issue is, like,
you can't
Dart's
play May and Allen.
16
true.
mil at the moment.
Yeah, true.
So I'd rather be playing 2 QBs who are going to score at least 40 points a week.
Yeah.
Like if Dart makes more cash, there's a world where you can nuff Dart
Yeah.
and get
Well, Dart's going to make more cash here, and then I'm going to be able
gets
to...
it to 18 or so, or a bit more.
And if Javonte Williams has a good matchup and goes well, there's a world where I can get rid of Dart, bring in our great mate JJ McCarthy.
This is how you should be thinking, coaches.
Yeah, and then get
Free
rid
up
of
that cash.
Javonte Williams and bring in Jonathan Taylor. Otherwise, the only scenario where I can see myself getting rid of Cook or Gibbs is to bring in JT, which I know that's crazy. But at the moment, I genuinely think that James Cook's going to have a better end to the year than Jamar Gibbs. And as we said, they're both up and down. But at the moment, that's just my future thinking. That's something I'm going to look at doing next week. I'm going to have a look at trades or bye weeks and shit as well. But at the moment, I'm looking to captain Drake May against Atlanta. Look, everyone keeps going on about great pass rushes and all this sort of stuff and great defenses that he's coming up against. He got sacked 5 times by Myles Garrett, and he still scored 54 points, and like we scored 32 points as a team. He's gone up against a lot of good teams, and he still put up decent points. Like Tennessee hadn't allowed many points to QBs. He put up 45. So I'm happy that he's going to hopefully score over 40 points.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Who are you captaining?
I'm going Josh Allen again.
Yep.
And I'm going to be vice captaining Jonathan Taylor, who plays in the earlier slot. So we've got Taylor at 4 a.m. Queensland time, or 5 a.m. if you're down south somewhere.
Yep.
And then Allen in that second slate.
Nice.
Against KC. So if Jonathan Taylor goes sort of 40, 50, I reckon probably if he goes 50 plus, and probably looping. But I am also wary that Allen in these games against KC, sometimes you see absolute fireworks, so he could be in for a big one as well.
See, the other thing I'm just thinking now, I've got CMC. I could put the VC on him. And the captain on Allen, who's at 7. I think Drake May, CMC, and Josh Allen are going to be my captaincy options this week. And I've just got to think of what's going to be best for me.
Yeah, I'm almost wondering as well, so I'm not going to use my boost, but I wonder if I nuff Jaden Daniels down to McCarthy this week, which might sound crazy because I was...
Just check McCarthy's going to play.
Yeah, well, even if he doesn't, it doesn't matter because I'll just play Dart and Allen.
Oh, yeah.
And then what that will allow me to do in the week, like next week, then I'll have almost 20 million, or actually I'll have 20 plus million in cash in the bank, and then I could potentially get in the guys I actually want, like JSN and all these other guys, and then I just have to find the money to go Dart up to Lamar or whoever else I can get in. in those weeks to come.
How are we looking for trades as well, fellas, for the rest of the year?
So I've got 9 after this week.
I got 9 as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I had a couple that I didn't want to have to make, but it's obviously Scat's one. So I've got a lot less than what I was hoping, but I'm pretty much set on my team now, I reckon.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and use 7 more trades, and then sort of keep 2 for like the last sort of few weeks of the year when there's gonna be guys rested and whatnot. Like you always know, week 18. Like if Josh Allen's won the division or if Drake May's won the division or whoever, they're not going to be playing that week. Like if they're locked into their seed for the playoffs, they're not going to be playing. So we're probably going to have some drama with QBs in that week. So I think that's why I actually think another reason why Lamar's a good option going forward once he sort of gets back, and if you can get him at a good price, is because they've done so bad, Baltimore. Like they're going to have to win every week. So they're unlikely to be in a position where he's going to get rested in week 18 as well, which I think makes thinking way ahead there. But I think that's also a thing to think about.
Something, if you're still listening right now, something to look into next week. We're going to have a little... I know I'm going to be keeping a close eye on it. Actually, it'll be Derrick Henry and Lamar.
Yeah.
And just have a look at how they're going. Because as you said, like they're going to have to be playing from behind. Derrick Henry had a good game on the weekend, and Jeezy's cheap. Yeah, he's very, very cheap. Same with Saquon.
Yeah, so Saquon.
Yeah, they're coming back.
Yeah,
the old guys are back.
That's it. Come off the bye, the oldies go for a playoff run. I tell you what, things have bloody well heating up down in the NFL world.
Very good. So big one to look forward to then for next week. Make sure you're tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast wherever you're listening, and make sure you're giving us a like on socials as well. And we'll see you next week.